I got a couple of people in your waiting room, and I want to start recording it.
Tell me when.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, go for it.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jean Sealand, and I am going to be the moderator for this evening's forum. This is for the mayoral candidates in Waterloo. Tonight's forum is being sponsored by the Black Hawk Bremer League of Women Voters and the Black Hawk County NAACP. You will all be able to ask questions this evening. If you are watching over Facebook or over Zoom, just type your question into the chat room. If you are watching over the Waterloo cable channel, if you text 319-493-2015, we will be able to see your questions. Again, that number is 319-493-2015. We have some very wonderful helpers for tonight's forum. Pat Harper is here in this room, and she will be the timing. And Augusta Sires will take your questions and submit them to me. And of course, Mike Dargan is in charge of technology for this, as are people at the Waterloo cable channel. I want to welcome two of our candidates this evening, Quentin Hart and Sophia Mays. Margaret Klein sent an email saying that she had a family obligation and could not join us this evening. We are delighted that these two candidates are here with us. We are going to begin with opening statements, and I think we'll begin with Ms. Mays.
Hello, my name is Sophia Mays. I live in the city of Waterloo. I lived here all of my life, and I went to the Waterloo Community Schools here. I lived right down the street, across the street from Allen Hospital, pretty much. Went to schools like Lincoln School, Logan Intermediate, graduated from East High. After I graduated, I went to the military. And like I was saying before, the message that was given to us is to take what you learn and give it back to your community and help build the community. And that's what I try to do with my time at every moment. As far as an update on recent events, over the summer, I went to a couple people and I was talking to them about how we needed a new mayor and how I was dissatisfied with the performance. And I was talking to them and I was asking them, you become mayor, you become mayor, you become mayor. And then they all told me, well, won't you do it then? And so I finally picked up my bootstraps and decided maybe like in July that I was gonna push forward and actually become mayor, researching what the mayor is capable of doing. There's a lot that could be done. There's a lot that could be done. I hear a lot of things that can't, when there's things that can and should be done. And, I decided that I was going to take on that role and join the mayoral candidacy.
Thank you. Mr. Hart?
All right, thank you. And just for those that don't know, once again, I'm Mayor Quentin Hart, and so very proud to be here. Thank you, Ms. Sealand, Ms. Harper, for putting this event together. And thank you, the League of Women Voters and all their co-sponsors. The work that you've done throughout history to help voting and educate people in voting has been tremendous. But once again, thank you, Mrs. Mays, for being here as well. I always welcome the opportunity to be able to talk about my time as mayor and the future of Waterloo. As you know, I grew up on Hope Avenue, not too far from here. My mom worked at Allen Hospital, and she'd walk back and forth every single day to help keep food on our table. I did the math once, and I think it was about 19,000 times walking back and forth across the highway. My dad worked at John Deere, and we pray for a speedy agreements for their current situation. He's a proud union worker who used to go in at 4 a.m. in the morning to pick up a shift or a shift and a half to help put me through college. When I came home, I went to UNI, and I wanted to make a difference right here at home. So I wanted to give back to my community, and I'm proud. Over the last 6 years has been some of the brightest for the city of Waterloo. The riverfront is prospering. Downtown is growing. We're revitalizing neighborhoods like Walnut and Church Row. We're partnering with colleges and businesses to create new jobs and new housing and investing in our entire city. We're growing our city also while coming out of a pandemic, but I think we're poised to move forward. I know there's much more work we can do, and every morning I wake up and I'm thinking about how I can make Waterloo a little bit better with all of you. So there's so many amazing things taking place, and we need to keep moving forward, and that's why I'm running for re-election, because I know the best days are ahead of us.
Thank you. I have two questions that I will ask you, and this will give people who are viewing an opportunity to submit your questions. Again, if you have a question to submit, please do it on chat if you are watching over Facebook or Zoom, or text 319-493-2015. Thank you. And I think we'll allow 3 minutes for each of these questions. Mr. Hart, would you like to start with the first question? And it is, what is the most crucial problem facing Waterloo, and how should it be resolved?
Crucial problem facing Waterloo and how it should be resolved.
Uh-huh.
3 minutes.
3 minutes, if you wish.
All right. Well, Waterloo, we have definitely some significant challenges. We have, we're coming out of significant challenges. We have, we're coming out of significant challenges. We have,
Oops.
We have,
What do we need to do to solve this?
You are muted.
Oh.
Is that someone? Okay. All right.
It should be stopped now.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Go ahead and see what happens.
All right. Thank you. Once again, we have some tough challenges coming ahead of us. We have incredible housing challenges that we need to address. We've made incredible progress over the years, but we still have more work to do in that particular area. We also have to deal with the coming out of COVID and figuring out how we could once again continue to jumpstart our businesses for long-range success. We also need to deal with some public safety issues as well. So we have incredible amount of work to do. But I think one quote that I like to say, if you plan to fail, you fail to plan. So we put together a strategic plan that involved thousands of people throughout this community to say, what do you want the city of Waterloo to look like? What do you want to see happen here? And we have 8 big ideas for the next 8 years. And that strategic plan focuses on housing, flying the W, which means marketing. The strategic plan talks about revitalization of the Crossroads area, powering up our downtown, but there are 8 crucial areas that we need to focus on. And last but not least, infrastructure, just overall infrastructure within this community, from city buildings to continuation of large projects for our community. So several different areas, but infrastructure, vision planning will get us the proper roadmap we need in moving forward.
Thank you. Ms. Mays?
Testing. One of the most crucial issues right now, as I talk to people, as I go door to door knocking from the north end side to the south end side, the people most crucial issue right now is the youth. There is a lot of concern for the youth and concern for the future of the youth. There is not enough productivity.
The host would like you to unmute your microphone. You
Yes.
can press *6 to unmute.
People feel like they don't have enough positive productivity for the youth in the community, and that's a great concern. And if we are not able to concern ourselves with the issues of the youth, of the future generation, then we're pretty much limited on what we can do for the future. Another concern is safety concerns. We used to walk down the street as a pastime, walk down the street for fun from East 4th Street on the north end to the East 4th Street on the south end. And nowadays people are afraid to even walk down the street. So safety is a most important issue that we face. As the mayor, Quentin Hart, was saying, those are some issues too, but when you talk to the people, the most concern is for our youth and future generations to come, and safety. And also the crime rate, if we can get a handle on the crime rate and what we can do to get the crime rate down, make people feel safe in the city of Waterloo, we can get further along. I do feel like we should be further along from this, and looking and doing the research on my own and seeing what is the issue. One of the main concerns is that poor leadership for those who claim to be leaders in Waterloo. It's a lack of strong leadership. It's a lack of elaborate leadership, and is a lack of what was said before, communication, as well as great ideas to move forward in a positive direction. And another thing is there's no unity in the community right now. It is said that the morale is low in the police department. The morale is also as well as low as in the Black community as well. And you have to talk to people how to get that morale up. And we got a lot of work to do. We're behind on a lot of things.
Thank you. We have one more technical problem.
The host would like you to unmute your microphone. You can press *6 to unmute.
Testing.
We are very, very sorry with this. This is something we haven't tried before, and I'm not sure
You are
what needs to be
unmuted.
done. Okay, we are unmuted now. Let's try. We'll go on. I apologize for the interruptions. Our next question is, why should we vote for you? Ms. Mays, we'll start with you this time.
You should vote for me because I have experience in working with people. One of my last jobs was I worked at Hy-Vee. You could say as a customer service rep, as a gas station clerk. And in there, we dealt with customers, many different customers, daily on a regular basis. And like some would say, politicians nowadays don't have a good name behind themselves because it's so many lies out there. It's just incredible. And what I would say is that I'm not a politician, although I do know about politics. But what I would consider myself is a customer service representative. And in customer service in any business, the customers is always right. And the people of Waterloo, they're the customers, they're constituents, and it's once you have that understanding that the need and for the constituents is the most important, and understanding what people's very basic needs are and get that handled for them. A lot of people's basic needs is not even getting taken care of right now. They're like it said, there's plans for the future, but what are the plans right now? What have been the plans in the past, and has those plans been met yet? Just like me researching what a mayor can do, just like I was saying before, it's just a long laundry list of what a mayor of the city, of any city, is capable of doing, and compared to what's getting done, and the list of what could be done is unsatisfactory. And instead of just saying that or giving some type of reason or an excuse of why it can't be done, I'm the type to get it done right then and there. And that's why I'll be the best candidate. Get people in here. A lot of people say that they care, but you could tell by their actions and their behavior that they really do not care. What we're gonna do is get people in here that actually do care based on their actions and the missions that they've done before. Get people in that really do care, and we can get something done to help move Waterloo, the city of Waterloo, forward for not just the north end side, but as well as the south end side. Not just for the south end side, but the north end side as well. A lot of people are being left out, and I know many people who feel disregarded, and there's no excuse for it. I hear a lot of excuses. Even still, I hear excuses. It's just, I'm just tired of the excuses. There's many ways to solve problems.
Thank you. Mr. Hart, why should we vote for you?
Right, thank you. First, because one, I absolutely love the city of Waterloo. I was born and raised here, so I'm very appreciative of the opportunities I have been given here. Number one, when we take a look at benchmarks for being a mayor or a comparison, and this is no slight to those that have come before me, the city of Waterloo has averaged over $28 million more of economic investment per year valuation since I've been mayor. We've had two of our top three highest years for economic valuation. When it comes to downtown, we are at net 40 plus businesses, 45 plus businesses since I've been in office, and our downtown has seen over $100 million economic growth. When it comes to roads and road conditions, we have University Avenue. We spent over $91 million more for road infrastructure versus the $65 million we spent prior to that. And that didn't come from raising prices on people or fees. That came from partnering with state and federal agencies. The city of Waterloo, which is really instrumental to what we're talking about today, under my leadership and partnerships, Waterloo was named one of the top 10 job markets in the country, and also was found to have the second lowest gender pay gap in the state of Iowa. When it comes to infrastructure projects, I've inherited a consent decree, and through that consent decree, we've been able to make the necessary changes to move our treatment plant back into compliance. We still have more work to do, but those areas are improving. Since I've been mayor, we've been able to go back and continue to deal with aging problems like in the Home Park and other areas, the project along Highway 63 to be able to handle more capacity, which we're moving forward in that area. When it comes to housing, yes, we are successful with building houses on the south side and the west side, but we are starting to see a housing transition with regards to every area in this community, and the Walnut neighborhood and Church Row projects are just two of those. What we've taken and partnerships with entrepreneurs and with Habitat and other people involved, we have turned that area into one that's starting to come alive and see revibrancy of life there as well. Look at all the downtown projects, from the convention center to the hotel to the streetscapes. We have been on an incredible track. The Lincoln Savings Bank project, when you take a look at the theme park, when you take a look across this entire city, this is not the same Waterloo it was when I started 5 years ago. We're on the right track, we're on the right move, and we have our strategic plan to continue to address these areas.
Thank you. Now the questions from the people viewing it tonight. If you received $1 million grant to use for the city any way you wanted, what would you do with it and why? Mr. Hart, I think we'll start with you. 3 minutes, right?
Oh, 1 million?
$1 million grant.
$1 million grant. We have received $1 million grants. We received a $3.8 million grant that was focused on lead-based removal from housing so that children and families could be safe. Another area we would take a look at is supporting our small businesses and businesses within our local community so that we can continue to attract more. We take a look at mental health and how we could partner with professionals to make sure that we can continue to put services right on the street. But I think first we'll be having a conversation with the Waterloo City Council, because our City Council all have different thoughts and they approach situations from different areas. So we definitely have to get their engagement and their conversation and take a look what staff needs to be worked on as well. So that $1 million would probably go by pretty quickly, given that we'd probably spend that in about a week or so. But there's so many different needs, so many things to adhere to, but whatever it is, it would be spent focusing on people.
Thank you. Ms. Mays, same question. If you received $1 million grant to use for the city any way you wanted, what would you do with it and why?
What I would do with $1 million if it was granted towards the city of Waterloo, at this point, it would be a great idea to connect with another type of investment company and invest more in building more houses available to the people, especially for low-income people. That is happening right now. It's happening with Habitat for Humanity. But once again, some people feel like they're left out of that. And so it would be towards community development, anything towards community develop, community housing, things like that. We need more housing programs because it's hard for people to find housing nowadays. Taking $1 million and investing with a company to make more millions to get more housing here in Waterloo, I think that would be a good idea.
Okay, thank you. Next question. What will the mayor do to help get an additional cable network for the city? The asker states the current provider is very expensive for people who are on a fixed income or low income. Would we be able to get something like CFU? Ms. Mays, we'll start with you on that question.
You said CFU, that's CF Utilities?
In Cedar Falls, yes. But what will the mayor do to help get an additional cable network for the city?
A cable network.
Right now, we just have one.
What one is that?
That's Mediacom.
Oh, okay. So,
I'm sorry, maybe I shouldn't have named names. But, yeah.
No, I needed to get an idea of what you were talking about. So, people are wanting another network.
Another option to choose from.
Another option to choose from.
And what could the mayor do about it?
The mayor could network and talk to many other companies outside of Waterloo right now. It would be good to do some research and check in with other media-based companies and see what they have available, see what's most important, see what would be most important for the people, and see what that can provide. I do feel like that it can be done, and it can be done with just talking to the proper people and networking and getting out there and seeing what's available.
Thank you. Mr. Hart?
Right. Very good question. One, I started a few years ago, sat down and met with some business leaders within the community because we've been talking about broadband for 25 years. So I'm glad that under my mayor, the partnerships we've been able to form, we are currently contracted with Magellan. Magellan is a company that helps develop broadband systems for cities and for other places. And we right now are under design for a backbone network for the city of Waterloo. During the State of the City last Thursday, I released a video that shows that we are also going to take a look at building fiber to the home as well. So we are doing that, not talking about it. It's under design and construction. We're identifying dollars and resources, and we're working with Magellan right now to make that a reality. We're hoping that the broadband backbone for city services, because we want Waterloo to be a smart city, one that uses technology and data to be able to drive our decisions. Hopefully that will be completed in January. And then the next phase of that is to work with the council to design the backbone, the fiber to the premise as well, to get that underway. Very potentially expensive project, could be 50, 60, 80 million dollars, but we are poised. We have been talking about it for 25 years, and we're finally doing it.
Thank you. Next question. How do you or how will you plan to involve residents in the decision-making process in Waterloo? Mr. Hart, we'll start with you on that question.
Involving residents, so on a couple different levels. One, we just had a community-wide vision planning, and the residents, from all the conversations that we had, all the Zoom meetings, all the surveys, the name of the strategic plan for the city of Waterloo is a community of opportunity. And that was from the voices of the residents. So strategic visioning, strategic planning, so that when we make decisions and they come before the city council, they're in line with what the strategic vision is for the city of Waterloo. Number two, right now the city of Waterloo has multiple boards and opportunities for people to be engaged. We have a planning and zoning board. We have a community development board. We have a leisure services. We have various opportunities for people to be engaged as citizens, to give their opinions on how we can move this community forward and making important decisions as well. We have a tremendous amount of volunteer opportunities for people to participate. We work with our local school system. We have a Waterloo Youth Council because we want to make sure that the voices of our young people are heard with regards to issues that they find important. We began residence academies a little while ago. And resident academies are when we bring in different residents to take a look at all city services, to let them know how our treatment plant works, let them know the operations of our police department. But they go through an academy over the course of, I think it's about 8 weeks, and they learn in depth about what our community, what our city's doing. We have a tremendous amount of things from the library, ways to get engaged, festivals, a myriad of different things for people to be engaged and learn more about their city. But as mayor, also some things that I did that was a little bit out of the box, and that was to host coffees, to go visit senior centers, to just be out and accessible to the public on what's going on. We have our neighborhood coalitions. Felicia's doing an incredible job at bringing in the voices and conversations of our neighbors. We have city council meetings, we have emails, but a myriad of different ways for people to be able to contact council, contact the mayor, and just be engaged and have some conversation.
Thank you. Ms. Mays, how do you plan to involve residents in the decision-making process in Waterloo?
I do think that that is a really good question, and I don't think many of the citizens of Waterloo kind of really don't know what's going on in Waterloo. All those things that were named, a lot of citizens that I'm around, they don't know much about. They don't know much about all of that stuff. So I don't think that it's been a very good job at getting the residents involved. Residents are the taxpayers of Waterloo. They are the beating heart of Waterloo, what keeps Waterloo going. And so it's very important to get their input on things that is going on. Like recently, what was just done is that with the theme park situation, as I was talking to residents about that, actually a resident came to me because I wasn't completely aware of that, and so a decision was made on whether the city of Waterloo would give money up for the theme park, but a lot of residents did not agree on that. So as far as getting the input of the residents, talking to people more, what was said on panels before, that it's a real problem with communication right now. What I found out is that a lot of people don't talk to each other. A lot of people don't talk to the current mayor. He doesn't talk to a lot of people. As far as accessibility, it's limited. Maybe it was better before, but I could say over the last 2 years to 4 years, accessibility has been very limited, and getting the residents involved in the input and what's going on in Waterloo is the most important thing. Just like I was saying, people's taxes were raised without their knowledge, and I don't think that's really fair to the residents. A lot of people didn't know what was going on with that, and a lot of people didn't agree to a theme park, and it's very, very, very important to get the residents involved. And one way you could do it is by talking to them. Having some type of focus group, go on and talk to people. A lot of people don't know who to go to talk to, and if I was to become mayor, one of the things that I wanted to do, a lot of people saying that it's hard to get volunteer services. What I want to do is, as a mayor, is make volunteering look cool so that we can get more volunteers.
Thank you. Next question. What can we do for more economic development? And I think we'll start with you, Ms. Mays.
Economic development. I think real estate is one of the major fields that could bring about economic development. Other things is finding a product that people like really need and really want, and putting that out there, and that'll bring in economic development. Another thing that can bring about economic development is investing more in our youth and in the future of our youth. That'd be a way to bring about economic development. The youth is not it's not included in a lot of the things that's going on right now. And if you can include them in what the future is yet to come, that can bring about a lot more economic development as well.
Thank you. Mr. Hart.
Well, one is the continuation of what we're doing with regards to broadband. That's very important to our economic future. It's going to attract more business. It's going to attract more opportunity for our local community. Number one is number two is the continuation of focuses for small businesses. Right now, we have programs and services that if you have an impact on the taxable value of a project or taxable value of a building, then you get incentives off that residual of what you increase in value. But we need to have more targeted small business programs to help them be successful. That's why I'm glad to see the 24/7 Black Initiative. It was stated that the city of Waterloo was a very hard place and one of the worst places is for Black business, but this group has been able to graduate over 24 Black businesses within that time frame. So we need to think outside of the box with regards to our small business. Number three is to take a look at Flying the W, which was number one in our strategic plan, and that was telling about the real good story about the city of Waterloo. Negativity begets negativity. Negative conversation begets negative thinking. And so the ability to be able to tell the whole aspect of this city by flying the W and letting businesses know there are amazing things taking place here directly in the city. Number 4 or 5, that is the continuation of a talented and attractive workforce. We have incredible partners from Hawkeye Community College, from the Waterloo Career Center, through our apprenticeship programs with our unions. The more that we can continue to train people to be able to have some of these jobs, the better our ability to be able to recruit and attract and retain local businesses within our area. Quality of life amenities as well. People want to know that you have trails. People want to know that you have quality of life amenities that are located directly within the city. This attracts people here. It also keeps people here. So just working on our quality of life amenities as well. But just to repeat, since I've been in office, we've seen 2 of the 3 largest years for economic valuation, which means people are reinvesting, which means people are building here. And then we can't also forget about our continuation of our housing stock. I think since I've been in office, there's been over plus 700 or so jobs within this local community. And that comes by not just me, that comes by partnerships, working together with our business community, supporting our Growth Cedar Valley, and all those necessary needs to keep and retain businesses.
Thank you. Next question. If someone came to you with a proposal to build a new piece of public infrastructure in our city, for example, a road or a bridge or something like that, how would you evaluate whether or not that project was worth implementing? Mr. Hart, I think I'll start with you on that one.
Well, that's kind of a tough question because public infrastructure versus private is a little bit different. So right now with public infrastructure, you have to be very careful. If you're trying to do a bridge project, that bridge project is regulated by DNR. It's regulated by the Army Corps of Engineers. So it's a little bit hard to talk about that. If someone is building a new road, that's a private road. But all of those have to meet specific specifications that are laid out from our engineering department, from our code department, and from those areas. So public infrastructure is a little bit different. But if I can, I'd like to spend some time talking about just overall development agreements, which are private. And so you have someone that comes in and say, hey, I want to build a building over here, and this is what I want to do. There's a vetting process that has to go through when they have a development agreement. They have to meet specific specifications. It has to come before the general public. It has to come before the city council, and it has to be voted on. They need to adhere to those things that are within that development agreement. If they alter or move away from the development agreement and what was proposed, that needs to come back for the city council for them to be able to, the city council to be able to decide, no, There is no extension. Yes, there is. Here's the tweak. This is what happened. And so that's the good thing about development agreements. They protect the interest of the city and make sure that you don't get it, that the city doesn't have any increased liability. We've had some development agreements where a developer has said, hey, I'm going to make this happen. And 10 years later, it just now happens. And the perfect example is the Courtyard Marriott that we love so much. Then we have some development agreements that continue to cycle all the way through, and they meet those demands. But the life of an entrepreneur and the life of a development agreement is different for each person. There's different conditions, there are different factors. But a development agreement is in place to protect the citizens of Waterloo from anything that may not go the way that it should within that process. But it's vetted, comes before the council, comes before the city, has it, some have hearings, but it's all done in the public view.
Thank you. Ms. Mays?
Can you ask the question again?
Yes. If someone came to you with a proposal to build a new piece of public infrastructure in our city, a road or a bridge, how would you evaluate whether or not that project was worth implementing?
Well, you will look at how it would benefit the citizens of Waterloo, and that would be the most important. We're talking about future benefits from future benefits to come. The research on how much does it cost to get that, and the safety of the people, and would that type of infrastructure really be towards building up the city. Anything that is for building up the city and including all of the people of the city of Waterloo will be taken into consideration, and thorough research would be done on that from different departments of the team. And I don't think not one idea should be disregarded. All of them should be looked at. That will benefit the future and the safety of the people of Waterloo.
Thank you. Next question. If elected or re-elected, what will each of you do to keep partisan politics out of our local government? And I think we'll start with you, Mrs. Mays. Ms. Mays.
You see that in some articles, in some reports, what is said is that there's some type of bridges being built, or to the current mayor's extent, but there's still a lot of partisan issues, and a way to deal with that is have an open line of communication and to not be biased. There's still communication is still there's a lack of communication, there's a miscommunication, there's misinterpretations. No one's taking the time out to actually hear what the people have to say because they're on some other side. There's a issue right now with Democrats and Republicans, and I'm running on independent. That way I can accept the views of both sides. I'm not just gonna work with somebody just because they're black, and only work with them because they're black. I'm gonna work with people of other color as well. It needs to be a more of a comfortable invite to bring all people along, no matter their race, creed, religion, or anything like that, because I think although we are all different, we all have those differences that make us the same. Then we can all build towards making a better city of Waterloo, and as well as making a better world. But for some reason or another, there's always a separation. We need to break down that separation instead of saying that you're going to build the bridge to bring people through, actually doing it. Because right now, as it stands, it's still at a standback right now. that may be reason why there's people that's not here right now, because they're offended for whatever reason, and they're offended over race issues or something. There's still an underlying race issues, and within the race there's issues, and you can welcome in on looking at the fact that people are just basic humans and have basic human needs. We can all be invited, no matter if you're a low income or rather if you're a billionaire. We all need to get along and feel a comfortable space to get along, because right now it's not a comfortable situation.
Thank you. Mr. Hart.
Well, that is the age-old question, how we're going to keep partisan politics. But the great thing about the local level, it's kind of like the last stop, because you're directly every day talking to people, meeting people. And I have not had one person yet that has called on the telephone that had some type of problem or situation and said, well, Mayor, I can't have you come here because you are a Democrat or you're a Republican. There's no such thing as a Republican pothole or Democratic pothole. There's no such thing as a fire that's a Republican fire or a Democrat fire. People have real problems, real issues that need to be solved, and they need to be worked on. And I've been fortunate to have collaborations and partnerships throughout this entire community to be able to work with incredible people from city staff every day that put things on the line to help this community, to working with different groups and organizations that don't necessarily line up where I do politically ideology, but they understand the greater good of people. They understand the greater good of humanity, and they put the needs and issues of the community before they do their partisanism. So it's a good reminder and a good question for all of us to think about the greater good, and that is helping people, working with people. And that's why, the time I've been mayor and been on city council, I've been so fortunate to be able to put some of those things aside, but to be able to work directly with people in this community. I'm very pro-business, pro-development. I am very conscious about social issues and challenges which may line up one way or another, but I have been able to work with people throughout this community on a myriad of different issues, and it didn't involve whether or not I was a Republican or Democrat. It revolved around, can we work together? Do you have the expertise? Do you have the heart and compassion to really be able to focus on the problems, issues, and needs? And that's the way that I approach it internally. I have 500 different staff members, full-time employees that I work with every day. And our conversations are not about, don't go to this person's house because of some type of partisanism. It is, what can we do to help improve the lives of people? And that's the question that I ask myself every morning. That's my prayer. That's my meditation. What can I do to help make this community better? And it doesn't have anything to do with what they classify, what letter they classify their name is for a particular political party.
Thank you. Ms. Mays, you indicated you wanted to do a rebuttal. I will let you do a rebuttal, and then I will give Mr. Hart a chance to respond, and then we'll go on to the next question.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Again, what's being said is not actually what's being done, because people are not. It's some people that are not here right now because they don't feel comfortable. As far as bridging the gaps, as far as having the compassion in the heart and looking towards, like the mayor said, the greater good. Not everybody. You can say that you're in it for the greater good, but you're not in it for the greater good, because I don't see it. I would like to see that more. I have my situations of my own that's going on right now, and if it was looked at as the greater good, then I wouldn't be in the situation that I am. So again, people are saying that it is, but it's not being done. You got to watch for that. don't just go off of what people say. Look at their actions. Look at the people around them, because not everybody is happy.
Thank you. Ms. Hart, do you want to respond? Okay, then we'll go on to the next question. As we all know, unfortunately, Waterloo has been named a very, very bad place for African Americans to live. The question is, what has been done and what additional work needs to be done? And I think we'll start with you, Mr. Hart.
All right. In 2018, the city of Waterloo was ranked by the 24/7 Wall Street as one of the worst places for African Americans to live. One is to understand that these problems and these challenges didn't just happen overnight. These problems have been systematic problems that we've had in our community for a very long time. What I'm proud to say is that we immediately work with Pastor Mary Robinson and the Human Rights Commission, and the City Council adopted a proclamation that talked about inclusion, talked about not creating policies that tear people further apart. But since then, we've been able to work to go into neighborhoods and redevelop housing. I mentioned a little bit a while ago about the Walnut area and being able to not gentrify people out of the neighborhood, but be able to bring people into the neighborhood with new housing stock. And housing was mentioned as part of the Wall Street report. Through that public-private partnership in this area, we've been able to leverage over $17 to $20 million worth of economic investment right in those neighborhoods, building houses on Newell Street with the Hawkeye program. When you take a look at working with programs like the 24/7 Black, being able to graduate 24 Black businesses within the last year and a half, which the 24/7 Wall Street talked about Black businesses and not having enough of those. We've been able to work with Grove Cedar Valley for diversity and inclusion efforts so that employers will be able to understand how to recruit a diverse workforce. In addition, we also work with the city council, with a couple of our city councils to incorporate the first in the state of Iowa, and that is the Fair Chance Initiative, so that those that may have been in some incarcerated situation would have an opportunity to get into the application pool to be able to find work. Across the board, we've been working, and I'm proud to say our 2030 vision plan also has a portion in being an opportunity for all in reducing barriers, and that's working with transportation, that's working with childcare, that's working with connectivity, but we have been active in trying to bridge the gap in so many different areas.
Thank you. Ms. Mays?
Can you ask the question again?
Yes. Waterloo has been named a bad place for African Americans to live. What has been done and what needs to be continued to be done?
Those reports that came out were based on the statistics, because through digital photography and the things that are maybe posted on social media, it looks like everybody's having like a good time, but when those reporting statistics come out, it actually just bases on like the true facts in that report. Yeah, so that's saying that Waterloo is not a good place to even do business, because they're even do business for Blacks. That is a sad case. And the thing to do is just to open more opportunities for Black people. Most of it is just coming with an idea and not shutting anyone's idea down. And getting the input from all Black people, because I've talked to a lot of people. That's how I'm able to get up here right now, is just by communicating with many people, a lot of people that I haven't even talked to before, and just ask things like, do they feel like there has been any improvement, or has there been any progress? It is stated that there has been improvement, but either it's coming at a very slow pace, or is people just are really not seeing it, and then people are just going. A lot of people's voices are going ignored. I know that there's many times that I have been gone unignored on issues that's going on, and so I know, and then so I know from firsthand, and then talking to other residents in the city. If only we could just do something to get that morale level up, and we'll be working our way towards a better city from what we should be, and what we can be. And another reason why maybe those reports came out, a lot of things just. It's hard for people to admit it, but a lot of things just fall back on the leadership, and leadership. If we can just get some better leaders out there, and get a better set of ideas, a better set of eyes going out there, because people act like they can't see sometimes. People act like they can't hear, and it's a deaf and a blind crowd right now.
Thank you. We've had some very serious questions this evening. This will be our last question, and it is just a fun question, okay? We'll end on a light note. Where are your favorite places to spend time in Waterloo? Ms. Mays, we'll start with you. Where are your favorite places in Waterloo?
My favorite places to spend time is at the parks. Parks is a fun place to go, whether it's Robinson Crusoe or Lafayette Park. They have little small different activities that's even going down now at the River Loop downtown. People do talk about that a lot in Waterloo, just how it's boring here and it's only limited things to do. But what I like to do for fun is just anything where I'm just learning something that can help people grow and develop. And I tell you, lately, under my situation, I haven't been doing a lot of things that has been fun. Maybe from other people think that that they're having fun, but a lot of people just not having fun. So a way to have fun is just to just get out around people that are being productive and that are productive in communication, productive in togetherness. It's not a lot of productivity here. It's only a certain situation. Some restaurants, they're producing and things like that. But outside of that, we and that's one of the concerns of the residents. If we can have more fun activities and more fun productivities in Waterloo, we can get into move forward into a positive direction in Waterloo, because just a lot of things is just not looking. It can be better. I know that it can be better. We can do better. We can do better today. We could have did better last week. There's some kind of hold up going on. Get rid of that hold up and just push forward. Another thing I like to do for fun is just to get out and meet new people. I hear a lot about inclusion. I don't think there's a lot of people being included in that. So you hear it, but you don't really see it. And I'm a very observant person, so we like to just see more things and have more productive things to do. That's what I like to do for fun.
Thank you. Mr. Hart, where are your favorite places to spend time in Waterloo?
Oh, okay. So I really enjoy just my kids' activities. The hustle and bustle of the day, dealing with challenges, problems. But I enjoy being at my children's events. The Friday nights at games or the Saturday dances. But I realized that that time is going to go by so fast. So I've been trying to take my time, be a little bit more family oriented, and focus on that a lot more. Just being around family and friends, I appreciate that opportunity. I think it's special. I love the different activities that are out there, from Irish Fest to Rag Bride to Northeast Fest. We have Friday Loos. We have programs, STEM and Stein. But the city has so many programs and opportunities during our summer times and throughout the year. I really appreciate that opportunity to do that. I enjoy being around people, different crowds, different places, talking, and interacting. I enjoy grilling and cooking. I joke, but I'm kind of like a grill master on the grill. So I've been practicing cooking for my family. Really appreciating that opportunity, and it may sound a little bit bizarre, but I love being here at City Hall, and I've loved being here for the last several years as being mayor. So I truly enjoy this opportunity and being here and working for people. Probably here a little bit too much, but just so appreciative of the incredible blessing I've had over the years to be here. And I know my pastor's watching, so being at church on Sundays as well. So I just enjoy my community overall, and so thankful.
Thank you. We're going to do closing comments now, and I think we'll give you each 3 minutes for your closing comments. And Ms. Mays, we'll begin with you for your closing comment.
The city of Waterloo is in desperate need of a change right now. You can make a change within a day. You can make a change within a week. You could make a change within a month. Right now, the changes are coming too much of at a slow pace, and people are caught up in doing the same thing over and over again. It's kind of like a monkey see, monkey do, and we need better leaders out there. I am a leader. I actually was born a leader, and I am not the type to follow the crowd. And we need more leaders that is not easily influenced on doing the wrong thing just because everybody else is doing it. We need more unity in the community. There's not a lot of unity. I do remember a time where it was unity, and it would be great to get it back to that situation. Yeah, you have these events that happen, and you see a crowd comes out, but what is happening in between that time? A lot of people are saying there's a lot of nothing going on. It's kind of like the same cycle of nothingness, and you hear when people talk, sometimes you kind of hear them like blah 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 blah. It's kind of a monotone thing. And if we can get more substance, leaders with more integrity, to just dismantle a lot of the falsies and the falsehoods that's going on right now. If you can put somebody with that can like stand on their principles, stand on principles and stand on truths. We need more people like that in leadership, and I am that type. There's a lot of things that I just don't do. Just because I see somebody else doing the wrong thing doesn't mean I got to do the wrong thing. And you don't see that a lot. You see a lot of people doing a lot of the wrong thing. And if we can get people, a lot of people are being like led into wrong places and wrong crevices and cracks of Waterloo. If we can get more people being led to positive places, then Waterloo can be more of a move into a positive direction. Right now, that's not happening, and we need to change the city government, and I'm here to make that change.
Thank you. Mr. Hart, closing statement.
Ms. Seelan, Ms. Harper, thank you so much to the League of Women Voters and all your partners for putting this opportunity together to talk about our future for Waterloo, not just what someone else is not doing, but what we can do to make the city better. So thank you for that opportunity. As I said in the beginning, I'm proud of my hometown. I'm proud of how far we've come in the last few years. We made true progress as a community, and the evidence is all around us. We're moving forward. We're bringing new business and new housing and new opportunity to all our residents. We have an incredible theme park that is moving forward. We have incredible projects coming down like LSB. We have an exciting 2030 vision plan with the hopes and dreams and aspirations from thousands of people throughout this community. We've seen an entire downtown renovations taking place. We've seen the revitalization of the Waterloo Convention Center with the outdoor Sullivan Plaza that's starting to take shape. It's a beautiful site. We've seen new developers come in and redevelop the hotel that's connected to it. We've seen streetscapes take place along the corridor. We've seen single speed. We've seen so many amazing projects that are starting to take place downtown. We've seen the revitalization of areas that people, before I started, said could never be done. Look at Logan Plaza. They said it couldn't be done, and now we have North Crossing. And in addition to what's taking place out there will be a child care facility, but also a senior facility as well, and housing also. We've seen the revitalization of the Walnut and Church Road area with incredible partners, not just the mayor, but incredible partners like Habitat, the Neighborhood Association, JSA, and John Deere coming on to help with revitalization into that area. That area was seen as not advancing, and now look at it now. We've seen housing starts along Newell Street and other areas of this community, but we are seeing signs and a pulse of life and activity like we've never seen before. And the data shows that $28 million more dollars plus since I've been in office per year. We've taken a look at engagement of our citizens through Residents Academy and getting the word out. We've seen the pay gap for men and women, the second lowest in the entire state, and highest construction years and housing years since I've been in office. And I didn't do it by myself. I have an incredible staff and team that I work with, and I have incredible citizens that believe the best of what Waterloo has to offer, and they're willing to fight alongside of me. So on November 2nd, make sure you support Hart. Make sure you support those candidates that want to move this community forward and not backwards. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to thank our sponsors for tonight's forum, the Black Hawk Bremer League of Women Voters and the Black Hawk County NAACP. I want to thank the viewers for tuning in to us, but most of all, I want to thank the candidates, not just for being here tonight, although we really, really appreciate that, but for putting your name on the ballot. That is very courageous. I want to remind you, Election Day is 1 week from today, so be sure to go and vote. So thank you all, and good night.
Thank you.
Great.
Sophia.
Thank you. Yes.